Hi guys. There are two types of people. One who plans the work for the whole day, but he never works. The other one, he works throughout the day, but he plans nothing. Now, we are also like that. What we do is we plan the work and we keep on thinking, no, we will do it. But at the end of the day, we think we have not done anything. Planning only done. Nothing has been concretely done. Now some people are there, they work like donkeys, but without any plan. Proper plan nahi hai. What are the important things, important चीज priority किसको देना है कुछ पता नहीं. In our study also we do the same thing. Some people plan what are the things, they know what are the things to be studied, but they never, they're very lazy, they don't study. But some people, they study whole day, they study, but they do not know which are the important point topics to be covered strategically. उनको पता नहीं है कैसे करना, plan नहीं करते, they do not know, they do not have any plan to implement. So what we have to do is we have to plan and work according to the plan. So plan and work according to the plan. Then only there will be success in life. With this reflection, let us move to the new topic. In the last session, we discussed about three traditional religious practices like Brahmanical traditions, Buddhism, Jainism one, then Tantric traditions. All these are traditional religious beliefs. In this, Tantric religious belief gave foundation to a new method of religious practice, that is Bhakti movement, devotional path. Bhakti movement has been derived from this Tantric practice because Tantric people emphasized on having close regulated contact with God, one chosen deity for everyone, individual experience with God, which was not accepted, which was criticized by the Brahmanical traditions, not accepted by the Brahmanical traditions. So we started with that first topic. Then we went on to study about the Bhakti movement. Then we studied about South India Bhakti movement, Alvas and Nayanas, and their opinion and point of view. Then we went on to study about Veera Shaivas or Lingayats from Karnataka. Then we went on to see about North India people. There are not much Bhakti movement practiced in North India except a few Jogis, Naths and Siddhas we saw. Then this Rajputs, princely states were conquered by the Central Asian tribal Turks, Afghans are coming and conquering India. Thus, India becoming part of Islamic world. See, we saw this in the last session. Now we are going to see how you know uh, uh, Islam as a religion got into India, and what are the few principles of Islamic religion and their practice, their beliefs, and their the whole core uh, religion, इस्लामिक रिलीजन को एक कोर एक्टिविटी के रूप में हम अभी देखने वाले हैं. It's very interesting. Some people some people consider this part to be very boring, but I personally feel that this is something which gives me a lot of insight, knowledge to know new things in life. So I learn a lot of things whenever I look into these topics. So the first topic that we are taking, that is new strands in the fabric Islamic traditions. So this talks about how Islam as a religion got into India. We know from the time immemorial, when even Indus Valley civilization was present, there was a contact between between the countries or the civilizations of the subcontinent. We studied about this. Even after that, when the Mahajanapadas, then we talked about South Indian rulers having Cheras, Cholas, and Pandyas having trade exchange between Greek and India, and we also talked about Roman. Romans had their trade with India, South India especially. So all this we studied in our ancient Indian history. So this proves that even religious sentiments can be exchanged. Thus, we see people from Central Asia coming and settling down in northwestern part of the subcontinent. From the 7th century onwards, the Islam is slowly creeping into India. Faiths of the rulers and the subjects. See, it depends. It depends on the religion practiced by the ruler, so that the subjects, the people also take up the same religion. If the ruler is a Hindu ruler, people majority will be Hindus. The ruler, not of that this today's present time I am talking about. Present time, it's all secular world. Earlier, if the ruler is a Islamic ruler, then majority or the popularity or the importance priority given to that religion. So that was something that was practiced in the medieval India. One axis of understanding the significance of these connections that is frequently adopted to focus on the religions of the ruling elites. I told you this only. In 711, in 711, an Arab general named Muhammad Qasim conquered Sindh. Sindh is nothing but a just no eastern side of Sindh river, which became part of Caliph's domain. Last year we studied about this caliphs and all that in Islamic world. A chapter was there from Islamic religion, so we studied who is a caliph. Caliph is the head of the Islamic religion. So this also became the area east of Indus River, Sindh River, became part of Caliph's domain. Later, in which 13th century, this centuries and all very important. Okay, sometimes they may ask this only here, not the whole pura book में नहीं ढूंढना आपको पूरा century and all. Here, 13th century, Turks and Afghans established Delhi Sultanate. Okay, which century Delhi Sultanate was established can be a question. This was followed by the formation of sultanates in the Deccan. Deccan is southern areas. Okay, this was followed by sultanates, Bijapur and Golconda and ये सब next chapter we will be studying about this people sultanates. हम पढ़ेंगे next chapter में. उससे पहले हम बता देते हैं. So Golconda, Bijapur, Hyderabad, all these are sultanates. So this was followed. This sultanates was followed by this kind of sultanates rule. Then Islam was an acknowledged religion of the rulers in several areas by this time, North India and South India. This continued with the establishment of Mughal empires in 16th century. Very important. 13th century Delhi Sultanate, 16th century Mughal Empire. So thus Islam is becoming a very important religion in a Indian context. Fine, that's an introduction to you. Okay, introduction. So this is how Islam became popular in India. Okay, how Islam became popular in India. This is how it became. It started with Muhammad Qasim conquering Sindh area, then Delhi Sultanate, then formation of sultanates in Deccan and then other parts of the subcontinent, then Mughal Empire. Theoretically, Muslim rulers were to be guided by a group of people called ulama. Ulama, last year we studied this, I think. So ulama who were expected to ensure that they who were these people unka responsibility hai ki expected to ensure that they ruled according to the Sharia. Sharia जो rule है, this is the law. Actually, what is Sharia? We'll study here. Right side is given in the box. इनका responsibility है कि ये जो Islamic state है, वो Sharia rule के हिसाब से और उसके रूल के नियम के हिसाब से मतलब रूलर्स रूल कर रहे हैं कि नहीं है, वो देखना उलामा का काम है. So they are above the rulers. What is Sharia? Sharia is a law governing the Muslim community. That is one marker में अगर आया, this is what you have to write. It is based on, अगर और थोड़ा 3 marker में नहीं आ सकता, but even then they can ask you in which of the following statements are correct, incorrect. उसमें ये सब statements देके आपको confuse कर सकते हैं. So that is the reason you should read all this. It is based on Quran. Okay, this Sharia is based on Quran. Quran and to one more thing, that is Hadith. Based on Quran and Hadith. What is Hadith? Hadith traditions of the Prophet Muhammad. Okay, what is hadith? Hadith traditions of Prophet, including a record of his remembered words and deeds. That is hadith. Hadith क्या है अलग से पूछ सकते हैं. Now, with the expansion of Islamic world outside Arabia, ये अरेबिया में ये दो चीज से शारिया बेस्ड है. Okay, you should understand. Sharia is based on two things, Quran and Hadith. ये कहाँ केवल अरबिया में, that is Saudi Arabia and other Islamic countries में. But in case where the customs and traditions are different, क्योंकि Islamic world expand होते जा रहा है कि वहाँ के cultures, वहाँ के customs, tradition totally different है. So they have to understand, take note of these things also in that area. One is Giyas meaning reasoning. Okay, गियास ज्ञान, ज्ञान वर्ड से आता है. ओके, गियास, सी ये सब पता होना चाहिए आपको वर्ड सब. एंड इज्मा, एंड दे हैव टू टेक द इज्मा आल्सो. सो व्हाट इज गियास एंड इज्मा? गियास इज रीजनिंग, मतलब वहाँ का जो लोकल नॉलेज है उसके हिसाब से. इज्मा द कंसेंसस ऑफ द कम्युनिटी, जो कम्युनिटी में आप रूल कर रहे हो उस कम्युनिटी के मेजॉरिटी लोगों से कंसेंसस लेना भी जरूरी है जब आप शारिया लॉ बनाते हो. For example, no, Islamic, this one, what is that? Is Mughal Empire, Mughal emperors, when they rule in India, they have to, the ulamas have to make Sharia law based on not two things, four things they have to base on. One is Quran, then Hadith, then Giyas and Ijma. ये चारों के आधार पे ही वो Sharia law बना सकते हैं इंडिया में. Okay, so all put together, thus Sharia is evolved from Quran, Hadith, Giyas and Ijma, where the other part, other than Arabia, ये चार चीजों से based है. बहुत important है for your MCQs and all that. Fine. So that is about Sharia. Let us go back here. So the Muslim rulers are guided by ulama who are supposed to ensure that they are ruling within the Sharia rule or not. Clearly, the situation was complicated in the subcontinent there, where there are populations that did not subscribe to Islam. इसलिए ये problem है कि Islamic rulers शारिया को follow कर रहे हैं, लेकिन बहुत सारे ऐसा population है जो इस्लामी को मानता ही नहीं है. That is the biggest problem here. In this context, that the category of the zimmi meaning, in this context only, that a new category called जिम्मी कैटेगरी को ये लोग इन्वेंट करते हैं. ये वहां पे भी फॉलो करते हैं, अरेबिया में भी फॉलो करते हैं. लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली टेल यू, बिफोर रीडिंग लेट मी टेल यू व्हाट इज जिम्मी. जिम्मी मीन्स प्रोटेक्टेड पीपल. जिम्मा मीन्स प्रोटेक्शन. अरेबिक वर्ड जिम्मा मीन्स प्रोटेक्शन. लेट अस टॉक अरेबियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट से हम बात करते हैं. वहां पे three communities. One is Muslim community, Jews community and Christian community. There are three communities in Arabia living. Now rulers are Islamic rulers. Now they have to give protection to other two, Jews and Christians. So Jews and Christians are called as Jimmis in Arabia. And now when they are ruling in India, they are going to include even Hindus, अदर देन जो मुस्लिम इस्लाम रिलीजन को जो फॉलो नहीं करते हैं, उसके अलावा जो लोग हैं, क्रिश्चियंस है, बुद्धिस्ट है, जैनिस्ट है, सोरास्ट्रियंस, जूइश, कोई भी है, जैनस, जो भी हैं, सब जिम्मी के अंतर्गत आ जाएंगे. अंडरस्टूड? So they, in this context, they are developing a new category called Zimmi. That is, Zimma means protection, developed for people who followed revealed scriptures. ये उन्हीं के लिए एक्चुअली ये स्टार्ट किया गया था अरेबिया, रिवील्ड स्क्रिप्चर्स के. नो, दोज पीपल हु फॉलो रिवील्ड स्क्रिप्चर्स, रिवील्ड सच एज ज्यूज एंड क्रिश्चियंस, ये सब रिवील्ड स्क्रिप्चर्स को फॉलो करते हैं, इसलिए इनको ये लोग जिम्मा मानते हैं. ओके, अंडर द लीडर मुस्लिम लीडरशिप. बट जस्ट प्रोटेक्शन फ्री में नहीं देते हैं, दे हैव टू पे अ टैक्स कॉल्ड जिजिया टैक्स. व्हाई? बिकॉज दे हैव द राइट टू बी प्रोटेक्टेड बाय द मुस्लिम्स. हम आपको प्रोटेक्शन देंगे और उसके बदले आप हमको एक टैक्स देंगे. द टैक्स इज कॉल्ड जिजिया टैक्स. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. What is jizya tax? It is a tax paid by the non-Muslim community to the Muslim rulers in order to be protected by them. So that is the jizya tax. Once again, I am repeating, it is a tax paid by the non-Muslims. That is a word, non-Muslims. Don't write Hindus, Christians and Jews. Non-Muslims, all the non-Muslims, to be paid to the Muslim rulers in order to be protected by them. Okay, in India, this status was extended even to the Hindus as well. as we'll see in the chapter 9, Muslim garden, all that. Okay, fine. In fact, the rulers often adopted a fairly flexible policy towards the subjects. The beginning Muslim rulers, they were very flexible, and they gave land tax exemptions to Hindus sometimes, and all these people. Even religious institution के लिए exemption था. Religious institution जो चलाते थे उनसे tax नहीं मांगते थे, and they expressed respect towards all the non-Muslim religious leaders and all that. Especially Akbar and Aurangzeb both are very well known for this, giving equality towards all the religions. Fine. So this is how Islam came into India, and how we were treated by the Islamic rulers in the beginning. Any question on this? You have to write. This is the beginning stage of Islamic rule in India. Now, हमने देखा कि they had a very liberal policy towards non-Muslim religious leaders and people. For this purpose, we have source 5 and 6 explaining about their attitude. So this is taken from from a Farman imperial order issued by Akbar in 1598. Farman means imperial order. He is giving an order to the Holy Society of Jesus fathers. Padris को church build करने के लिए he is giving all the right and land to them, and any help required, please come and ask me. You should build your own worship place, and this is your it is your duty, and nobody can take away from you. At that time, secularism was practiced by Akbar. So this is the place called Kambat in Gujarat. Okay, that is a source. Please read this. Now another source talking about reverence for the Jogi. We studied about Jogis, Naths and Siddhas. These people are called Bhaktas in North India. So this is a letter by Aurangzeb to a Jogi. So in this he is telling that that Guru Anandanath Jio, his name Shiv Murat, Guru Anandanath Jio, his name is that Jogi's name. Yogi's name. So he is all the happiness and peace with you. Any help, please let me know. I am ready to help you for your service and your all that. In any service, I am ready to help you. So here Aurangzeb is expressing his liberal religiosity to other religious people also. These are the two sources. Now the popular practice of Islam. Now we are going to see the core ideology of Islam. What is the principles practiced by Islam? Okay, so very important topic. Popular practice of Islam. The developments that followed the coming of Islam were not confined to the ruling elites. Even the people who started taking up peasants, artisans, warriors, merchants, to name a few, all those people, all those who have adopted Islam, accepted in principle the 5 pillars of the faith. What are the 5 pillars of the faith of Muslim Islam? It's a very obvious three-marker. What are the 5 pillars of the otherwise? Which are the following are not mentioned in the 5 pillars of the Islamic faith करके 1 marker में भी आ सकते हैं, उसमें एक incorrect होगा या option देंगे choose करने के लिए. Lot of things can be asked in this 5 pillars. Fingertips में याद होना चाहिए. If you are a Muslim, you should know by before studying only. If you do not know, it's very bad. No problem. Study now. 5 pillars of the faith. There is one God, Allah. That's the first pillar. There is only one God, Allah. Second pillar, Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. Messenger का उर्दू वर्ड है शहादा. ये भी एग्जाम में आ सकते हैं. What is the meaning? The term shahada meaning ऐसा भी आ सकते हैं. Shahada meaning messenger. Offering prayers 5 times a day. Namaz, that is salat और namaz. ये words Arabic words हैं. इसके लिए नमाज के लिए this one five times a day. That's the third pillar. Fourth pillar is giving alms, meaning giving helping others, maybe through ways of giving some economic help, money, maybe some something food or some whatever cloth, whatever the other person is in need. Giving alms is one of the pillars of Islamic practice. ये उनका एक प्रिंसिपल है, देना ही देना. ओके, सो आर्म्स, गिविंग आर्म्स के लिए हम zakat कहते हैं. Then fasting during the month of Ramzan, very important. Fourth, there is one, two. The first one is one God, Allah, and Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. That is the first one. Okay. Second one is offering 5. Second one, third giving. Fourth is the fifth one is, so the first Allah and Prophet Muhammad दोनों एक ही pillar है. Second is offering 5 times a day prayer. Giving alms is the third one. Fasting during the month of Ramzan, the fourth one. Performing the pilgrimage to Mecca, that is Hajj, is the fifth pillar. So fourth one, fasting during the month of Ramadan is Swam. Swam, it was asked in most of the previous year question papers also. I saw not last year, previous year. So, तो हज यात्रा हम बोलते हैं. So it is also, that is why Islamic people, Muslim people, they have the all the curiosity and no intensity to go to Mecca at least once in their lifetime, because it is one of the five pillars of their faith. So very important question we have discussed now. However, these universal features are often overlaid with the diversities of practice derived from the sectarian affiliations. We have two groups of people in Islam, Sunni Muslims and Shia Muslims. So two sectarians mean two sects, two different groups. So इसके हिसाब से इनका जो फीचर्स है वो पिलर्स है वो भी चेंज होते हैं. एंड इवन अदर थिंग इसके कारण भी चेंज होते हैं. और इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ द लोकल कस्टमरी प्रैक्टिसेस ऑफ कन्वर्ट्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट सोशल मिल्यूज मीन्स डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स. इनके कारण भी क्या होता है, ये पिलर्स में कभी इनका जो यूनिवर्सल फीचर्स है वो ये पिलर्स भी कह सकते हैं इसको यूनिवर्सल फीचर्स भी. व्हाट आर द यूनिवर्सल फीचर्स ऑफ इस्लाम, इस्लामिक फेथ? दिस आर द फाइव यूनिवर्सल फीचर्स. व्हाट आर द पिलर्स? तो भी यही आंसर है. लेकिन ये कभी कभी चेंज मतलब ओवरलेड इधर उधर हो सकते हैं, एक दो चेंज हो सकते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू द ग्रुप. सुन्नीस के अलग होते हैं, शियास के अलग होते हैं, और लोकल प्रैक्टिस के हिसाब से थोड़ा बहुत चेंज हो सकता है, क्योंकि इंडिया इज नॉट अ प्रॉपर इस्लामिक कंट्री. सो इंडिया में जो इस मुस्लिम्स है, इंडियन कस्टम्स और प्रैक्टिस के हिसाब से उनका पिलर्स चेंज हो सकता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वी हैव फ्यू एग्जाम्पल्स हियर. Khwajas, a group of no Islamists, they are Shia group. Okay, Khwajas belong to Shia group. They developed a new modes of communication, disseminating ideas, spreading their ideas derived from Quran through indigenous literary journals. Okay, so indigenous local जो literary work है उससे ये लोग कुछ आइडिया लेके लोगों को बताते हैं. जैसे the no, for example, this included Gyan, the word derived from Sanskrit Jnana, meaning knowledge. Devotional poems in Punjabi, Multani, Sindhi, then Kutchi, Hindi, Gujarati, ये सब वहाँ से राग निकाल के ये डेली प्रेयर्स में ऐड कर देते हैं. So they are in somewhat we studied in sociology a term called acculturization. मतलब you are accepting some others culture into your main culture. So that is called acculturing. Okay, so here also the same thing is happening. Universal features can be little more changed according to the group or the local practices. Elsewhere, one more example, Arab Muslims traders who settled in Malabar coast in Kerala, they adopted local languages Malayalam. They gave up this Arabic language and Urdu and all. They purely depend their prayers and everything in Malayalam. They also adopted local customs such as matrilini and matrilocal residence. ये वहाँ मतलब मलबार कोस्ट में एक वेरी स्पेशल एग्जाम्पल थर्ड चैप्टर में हमने पढ़ा था. Matrilini and matrilocal. Matrilini we studied. Patrilineal means son taking over the father's surname and property, everything. Matrilini, your mother. What is matrilocal residence? It is a practice where women after the marriage remain in their own natal home with their children, and husbands may come to stay with them. That is matrilocal residence. Very important question. What do you mean by matrilocal residence? In which the practice of women staying with the mother's house only, parental house only, whereas the husbands leaving their house and coming and staying with the. So this is practiced in Malabar Coast, Kerala. Very very interesting fact. So we have this. Okay, two examples for how no the universal features can be overlaid. सेपरेट 3 मार्कर में आ सकते हैं. ठीक है, नो हाउ कैन द यूनिवर्सल फीचर्स ऑफ Islamic faith be overlaid. So two examples we have, and it happens because of two different groups and local practices. The complex blend of universal faith with local traditions is perhaps best exemplified in the architecture of mosques. Mosques को हम देख के हम पता चलता है कि local traditions कितना इसमें influence करता है. Some architectural features we see this is a mosque in Kerala. It doesn't look like a mosque. It looks like a ancestral house, but it is a mosque in Kerala because of the local geographical features plus local cultures and traditions के हिसाब से वो building भी for the architectural mosques are universal, such as, but few things are very very universal. You may the architectural features are maybe this one, but the features some things are very very universal, such as their orientation towards Mecca. See, if you see the Mecca, it will be built towards the where Mecca is. For India, Mecca is in the western side. Okay, so any mosque you see, it should be faced towards west side. So that's the first one. It cannot be changed. Wherever no, maybe the place may be different or order, but these three things cannot be changed. Orientation towards Mecca, and evident in the placement of mirab, that is the prayer place. Then minbar, that is pulpit, the where the the preacher stands and preaches, जहाँ पे वो अपना ये देते हैं, भाषण देते हैं, उसको हम पुलपिट कहते हैं, मिनबार। ये तीनों मतलब उसका जो ओरिएंटेशन है वो वही होगा। ओके, हाउएवर देयर आर सेवरल फीचर्स दैट शो वेरिएशन सच एज रूफ्स, बिल्डिंग मटेरियल्स, ये सब वेरिएशंस है, हो सकते हैं। नॉट नेसेसरली इट शुड बी अ डॉम, not necessarily it should be used, material should be a sandstone or a limestone or white stone or all that. Nothing is of that sort. Okay, so this is about the architectural evidence of a mosque. Some things cannot be changed and some things can be changed, like roofs and building materials and all that. Okay, so this is about how the universal features can be overlaid by the local and other groups. Names for communities, this is just you read, there is no any question answer in this, इसमें आपको read करना पड़ेगा। क्या है, मैं ऐसे short में बता देता हूँ। See, there is, they are telling that between 8th to 14th century तक, 8th to 14th century तक कहीं भी किसी भी बुक में ये मुसलमान और मुस्लिम का वर्ड वर्चुअली कहीं मेंशन्ड नहीं है, नेवर यूज्ड। They are telling historians have studied Sanskrit texts and inscription dating to all that. Nowhere it is mentioned. Nobody calls them is Muslims or a Musalman or all that. Just people started calling later on. People were occasionally identified in terms of the place where they are coming from. For example, this is important for your one marker. They were identified. Turkish ruler were designated as Turksha. Turksha. Okay. Tajikas are the people from Tajikistan. Tajika is a name for a Tajikistan. The same way, Parashika is a name for the people coming from Persia. So these are the now how we come to know Muslims को हम उनके एरिया के हिसाब से, जहाँ region from where they are coming from. Accordingly, we are sometimes terms used for other people or applied to new migrants. For example, Turks and Afghans were referred as Shakas also. ये भी कभी कभी हम यूज करते हैं। Then this is very important. Yavanas is a term used for Greeks. ये बहुत एग्जाम्स में आया हुआ है। Yavanas is a term used for Greeks. So we have studied here, Truksha for Turkish people, Tajika for Tajikistan, Parashika for Persia, and sometimes Turks and Afghans को दोनों को शाकास कहते हैं, Yavanas for Greeks. That's enough. Other migrant militias and all that we have studied. So that is very important. Okay, what we have studied now for your one marker. Now we have completed two question answers. The first one is how India became a part of Islamic world and their practices. Then we studied five pillars and overlaid of the Muslim universal features. The growth of Sufism. Explain the growth of Sufism. That is the question. Okay, see what is Sufism. Okay, there are some religious minded people called themselves as Sufis. They turn to asceticism, mysticism in protest against growing materialism. See, Islamic practice में लोग बहुत पैसा वाले पैसे में और they are just depending on ऐश आराम की जिंदगी में ज़्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं. So there are a group of people called Sufi. They are telling that we are going to practice asceticism and mysticism. They are very critical to dogmatic definitions. जो कुरान में जो लिखा है उसको ऐसे ही follow करना. There is no any kind of humanity in that. So all that they are hating all this, and they are emphasizing on, Sufis, very important. Sufis laid emphasis on seeking salvation through intense devotion of love, in devotion and love for God, by following His commandments and by following example of the Prophet Muhammad, for whom they regard as a perfect human being. Thus, they are giving a different interpretation to the Quran on their basis personal experience. These people are nobody but bhaktas what we studied in Hinduism. वहाँ भक्ति मूवमेंट में हम alvas, nayanas and lingayas को देख रहे थे, वैसे ही मुस्लिम में एक ग्रुप है जिसको हम रेवोल्यूशनरीज कह सकते हैं, दे आर सूफीज. आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड. सूफिज्म वर्ड कमिंग इंग्लिश में 19th सेंचुरी में कॉइन हुआ था. सूफिज्म इन इस्लामिक टेक्स्ट इट इज कॉल्ड तसाउफ, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, वाई हिस्टोरियंस आर यूजिंग दिस टर्म, प्लीज रीड. इसमें कोई ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट दे आर गिविंग सम मीनिंग, नो, प्योरिटी मीनिंग सुफ मीनिंग वूल. read this, you will understand by reading. Now we are going to see explain the growth of Sufism में ये भी आ जाएगा. The first point, that is Kanghas and silsilas. What is Kangha? Kangha is Sufism evolved into a well developed movement with the body of literature and all that. धीरे धीरे ये एक institution बन गया Sufism. Sufis began to organize, यहाँ से आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. Sufis began to organize communities around the hospice or Kangha, Persian. It's a Anuman, what's a hospice? A place. Kangha means a place controlled by teaching, a place where the teacher and the disciples and all that people living. That is a hospice or a Kangha. Kangha is a place. It is controlled by a teaching master. He is called a sheikh in Arabic, pir और मुर्शिद in Persian. देखो confuse कर सकते हैं आपको. Sheikh in Arabic, pir और मुर्शिद in Persian. He controlled disciples. Disciples are called as murids and appointed a successor. ये एक बार मतलब disciples में से एक को जब ये रिटायर होते हैं, एक successor को appoint करके मर जाते हैं, वो खलीफा है. He established rules for spiritual contact and interaction between inmates as well as between lay person. या सूफीज का काम है, जो मास्टर है उसका काम है वो lay person और inmate के बीच में एक इंटरेक्शन, contact rules and regulations, spiritual contact वो मेंटेन करता है. Now Sufi silsila. What is silsila? Sufi silsila began to crystallize in different parts of the Islamic world. The word silsila literally means a chain. एक क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, silsila meaning, हिंदी वर्ड ही हमको पता है silsila, that is chain, signifying a continuous link between what chain it is? Continuous link between master disciple, stretching an unbroken spiritual genealogy to the Prophet Muhammad. So master फर्स्ट डिसाइपल्स, देन मास्टर के ऊपर और एक मास्टर रीचिंग अप टू प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद. ये एक सिलसिला है. एक गुरु को आप लोगे तो उसका पूरा एक सिलसिला निकलता है. दैट इज सिलसिला. दिस इज इन सूफिज्म. सिलसिला इज इन सूफिज्म. इट वाज थ्रू दिस चैनल दैट स्पिरिचुअल पावर एंड ब्लेसिंग्स वर ट्रांसमिटेड टू डिवोटीज. ये जो चेन प्रेयर में ही उनको ऐसा ब्लेसिंग्स मिलता है. स्पेशल रिचुअल्स ऑफ इनिशिएशन वर डेवलप्ड इन विच इनिशिएट्स टुक ओथ ऑफ, ये नए जो डिसाइपल्स आते हैं इनिशिएट्स, दे टुक द ओथ ऑफ allegiance means obedience. They wore a patched garment, ऐसा एक मतलब अच्छा मतलब stitched garment. Then they shaved their hair. Okay, these are the three things they when they start as a initiate new disciples, when they come they do all this. Now what happens when a guru he dies? When a sheikh dies, a tomb shrine dargah is being developed. Dargah is a Persian word meaning court, became the center of devotion for the followers. When the people go every year, they go. This encourages the practice of pilgrimage. Pilgrimage के लिए Arabic word है ziyarat. Please underline this, very important. To his grave, every year they go pilgrimage. तीर्थ यात्रा में जाते हैं दरगाह पे. Particularly on his death anniversary. Death anniversary को उर्स भी कहते हैं और इसका मतलब marriage. What is this marriage? This marriage is not the marriage that we have. This marriage is a signifying union of his soul with God. जब वो मर जाता है वो एक शादी जैसा, उसका तो डेथ एनिवर्सरी को एक मैरिज के हिसाब से मनाते हैं. बिकॉज ही इज गेटिंग मैरिड टू गॉड, हिज सोल इज गेटिंग मैरिड टू, marriage means union. So this was because people believed that in death saints were united with God and were thus closer to him when they were living. People sought their blessings to attain material, spiritual, all that. They evolved the cult of sheikh, revered as a wali. sheikh को एक वाली के रूप में भी मानते हैं. वाली इज ए प्लूरल, वाली का प्लूरल वर्ड है, यहाँ पे बॉक्स में है. वाली का प्लूरल वर्ड है औलिया, a friend of God. What is wali? Is a friend of God, Sufi, who claimed proximity, closeness to Allah, acquiring his grace. Grace means barakat, to perform miracles meaning करामत. ये सब वर्ड्स आपको सी, प्लीज राइट ऑल दिस सेपरेटली इन ए कॉपी. वर्ड मीनिंग सब अरेबिक वर्ड मीनिंग ये आ सकते हैं. अंडरस्टैंड? सो दिस इज अबाउट ग्रोथ ऑफ सूफिज्म. इसमें आपको कनास के बारे में लिखना पड़ेगा, मास्टर्स फिर मुरीद, और यू आर टॉक अबाउट सिलसिला एंड ऑल दैट. Silsila, it is named mainly of two things. One is, it is most Sufi lineages were named after a founding figure. For example, क्वादरी ऑर्डर was named after a शेख अब्दुल क्वादरी जिलानी. इसके ऊपर जो सिलसिला क्वादरी सिलसिला है वो इसके नेम के आफ्टर है. There is another silsila called Chishti silsila. Order means silsila only. Chishti order is named after the place in Afghanistan. There is a town called Chishti. Chist वहाँ सा Chishti silsila. तो ये दो चीजों से किसी एक गुरु के पीछे भी वो सिलसिला का नेम हो सकते हैं, या प्लेस के वो पीछे भी हो सकते हैं. ठीक है, दैट इज अबाउट सिलसिला. ना आउटसाइड दिस खाना, दैट मीन्स ये खन्हा प्रैक्टिस को जो मतलब वहाँ बैठे बैठे खाना पीना प्रेयर करना, इससे लोग जो उनको जिसको मजा नहीं आता था वो लोग दूसरा कुछ प्रैक्टिस करते थे. दे प्रैक्टिस्ड mendicancy and observed celibacy. They did not marry, and they believed in begging and eating. These people went on to extreme forms of asceticism सब करते थे. And these people are different, and they are some groups are called Kwalandas, Madaris, and Malangs, and Haidaris. These are the people, okay. But these people, because of their deliberate defiance means disobedience to sharia law को ये मानते नहीं थे, इसलिए इनको बेशारिया कहते हैं. Very important. Who are Besharias? Besharias are those people who don't follow the Sharia law. In contrast to Basharia people, Basharia Sufis who follow Sharia law. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. बेशारिया एंड बाशारिया दोनों पूछ सकते हैं. बेशारिया who Sufis are those who do not follow Sharia law. Basharia people who follow Sharia law. So these are Besharia का example है Kwalandars, Madaris, Malangs, and Haidaris. These are some of the people, and I've observed extreme forms of asceticism. So I stop here for today, this session, because we have completed two important topics, and I don't want to rush up because this is too much. So much MCQs are there. Next silsila जो हम लेंगे, चिश्ती सिलसिला and all that, उसमें भी बहुत सारे MCQs आएगा. So we stop for the day today. Please all of you study well. Till then, all of you take care. Bye bye.